All right, guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm down here in Tennessee. We done got about 8 inches of snow. I'm snowed in and still made $1,500 today. So it was a good day. I got Victoria. You guys know Victoria, don't you? She's
Yeah.
her husband's family is from my home, is from here. So we've been trying to meet up like the last couple of days, but as you know, we've been snowed out. So we're gonna try it again tomorrow. All
Oh,
right, guys.
nice.
So
So you got
everybody,
that much snow in Tennessee?
yeah, we get a lot. Well,
We
it
we
just
didn't get
depends.
any. We got barely an inch up this way in Murfreesboro.
Oh
Didn't
yeah,
get
we got like
nothing.
8 inches
Wow.
altogether.
Mm.
So
Keep
guys,
it down there.
this is what we're gonna do. Okay, so this is typically, guys, is what I'm gonna go over today. I just decided to just do this because typically I do this in my founding members module. Typically I do this with my one-on-one coaching, but I just say, you know what, I'm gonna do this one today just for everybody. So if you got a pen and paper, guys, I have 7 things that I want you to write down because this is the format that I'm going to be going over. And I've had people reach out to me, so I just kind of I got 3 names already. They reached out to me, so I just said, okay, I can do you guys. It's whatever. We'll try to do some Q and a little bit of Q and A. I'm gonna try to get it done to the point where I can do some Q and then of course this will be recorded. So these are the 7 things I want you guys to write down. So number one, the hook. Number one is the hook. Number two, um, introduce yourself, right? So introduce yourself. Number three, share your story. Parentheses, focus on the pain points. So share your story. Parentheses, focus on pain points. Um, Number four, share when you discovered the blueprint. So basically, when you found the program or when you joined the program. Uh, Number five, let me know if I'm going too fast. Um, Share what the blueprint is teaching you or has taught you, depending on when you started. So share what the blueprint is teaching you or has taught you, right? Um, Number six, share what you like about the blueprint. She says that's 8 inches of snow near Knoxville. I'm about an hour and a half from Knoxville. So I don't know if they got any snow or not, Jennifer. And then number seven, guys, is share what problem it's solving or has solved, which I like to say is the destination. All right. Okay. So I am going to I'm gonna let I'll let Carrie keep up with if there's any messages, questions. So I'm going to see if Barbara Bush is on. I have no idea. I should just let everybody unmute it. So let me see. Barbara Bush. I'm just going through here, guys. Matter of fact, Barbara Bush, if you're on, raise your hand. Um, Tasha Elliott, if you're on, raise your hand. And Bernie Doucette. I hope I'm saying her name right. Raise
Tasha
your hand.
raised
Those are
her
three that
hand.
kind of. I'm sorry.
Tasha,
Okay.
Tasha raised her hand right now if you want
Okay.
to grab
And if and if those people, those other two aren't on, anybody who wants me to break their story down, just raise your hand, and I'll call you. Okay, I see Brian. Okay, so we're gonna start with you, Miss Tasha. I'm gonna unmute you.
Hi. Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
hey, how's it going?
I am like so under the weather, but I am here. Let's go.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so guys, first of all, I want to say this is the format that I use. Probably in the last week, I probably had over 3,000 leads off of my content. and I haven't even TikTok wouldn't even let me get to it all. Like I woke up to 500 almost this morning. I had 600 and some yesterday. I was commenting. They shut me down for 22 hours without commenting, and I mean it's just crazy, right? And I've been doing a lot of short form uh content, like 30 seconds. And I'm talking about it's been crazy, like just getting straight to the point. So, but this is the format pretty much, guys, that I use. And again, it just comes with reps, just mastering your story, getting comfortable with it, and just staying consistent. Okay, so Tasha, so the first thing, first and foremost, like I said, is the hook. This is the most important thing, the most important thing. Now, when you say your hook, however you want to use it. Hey, are you tired of working? How would you like to quit working 10, 12 hours a day and have a 2 hour work day or whatever it may be? So you want to be the hook. Guys, the hook is the most important thing, period. It's better than the video, because if you can't get them to stop the scroll, you're just not going to be able to get a lead. So you want to treat the hook like as if you're driving, right? You're driving, and you ever been driving and you see something and you're like, hold up. Did I see what I thought I saw? That's how your hook want to be, because you want to create a hook like that, because that's what's going to make people stop. So ask yourself, whatever your hook was, if you saw that content on social media, would you stop to listen to what they had to say? Right? Okay, so the next one is share your story. So I'm gonna ask you this, Tasha. When did you where's she, is she? Where's Tasha at?
Here I am.
Okay, so when did you start, Tasha? Like,
Wow, I started right when she created it. So back
okay,
well, I mean, no, actually, I started when she was with IPS. So I mean,
oh,
as far as Legacy Builder, I started from the beginning of Legacy Builder.
okay, all right. So we'll say we'll say back in okay, the legs. Okay, let's just say
All right.
we're gonna say back here last year, since that's when we all
Yeah.
officially launched the legacy, because I think we launched it on April the 1st,
Mhm.
because we was all a part of IPS, and then we kind of switched over. Okay, so for you, Tasha, so you got a hook. Then I don't know if you're introducing yourself or not, Tasha, in your content. So, prime example, when a person comes to your videos, guys, when they see your first three videos, they should know who you are. They should know what you do or what you used to do. They should know who you are, what you do, or what you used to do. Because you got to understand, guys, if they don't even know what your name is, like, I mean, you're dealing with people who you 9 times out of 10 you're probably never going to see, right? So the least we can do is tell them our name. So, prime example, if you watch any of my content, I'll say my hook, and I might say, "Hey guys, if you're new here, I'm Darrell Hannah." That's all. You don't have to go off. It don't have to be explicit. Just give them a brief description. I know this sounds weird, but you want them to just feel like, okay, I'm just a regular person. Guys, I'm just an old country boy down here in Tennessee, or I'm Tasha from Kansas City, or like you're just trying to lower the anxiety and the curiosity of them thinking you're a scammer or whatever, right? So now the next one is, now you're gonna share your story, right? So I want to ask you, Tasha, what was the reason? What was going on in your life? Like, what were you experiencing that got you to the point where you were like, you know what, I just can't deal with this. I gotta go looking for something else. I gotta find something else. Like, what was those deciding factors? What was going on that you didn't like, that basically pushed you into coming into the online space, whether you already came into the online space a while back, or just eventually just came to the point and said, look, I got to go find something, and before you stumbled upon the digital marketing.
Wow, you know what? So I have to go back when it was IPS, because prior to IPS, I had paid thousands of dollars for this program.
Okay,
And
okay, Ms. Tosh, I'm gonna stop you right there. Okay, so before you joined IPF, before you joined, okay, what were you doing before that?
before that, I had my own coaching business. I had my own coaching business helping women of survivors of childhood sexual abuse.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question. So before you came into the online space, right? How long have you been in the online space?
Since June of 2023.
Okay, so June 2023. Okay, okay. Okay, so you said that, okay, so before you found IPS, you had a coaching business, correct? Okay, go ahead. Just tell me how that, tell me like what was going on with your coaching business to the point where you were like, okay, you decided to go looking for something else before you stumbled upon the IPS program.
The what got me to start looking for something different is because when I got into that coaching business and paid all those thousands of dollars, I was told that I wasn't going to have to DM people because I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to DM people and things like that. But once I got inside the program, she was telling us to go inside other Facebook groups and DM them. And I'm like, this is not what I signed up for.
Okay, so let me stop you right there, Tosh. Okay, so before you got off into, because you say you came in 2023, which was like 2 years ago. So
Right.
what were you doing before you started your coaching business? Before you got off into coaching? Like what did you have like a 9 to 5 or were you like what were you doing then for income?
Well, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I'm also a homeschooling mom, so I was chilling.
Okay,
I
so
was,
you was a stay-at-home mom.
yes.
Okay. And while you was a stay-at-home mom, what was the reason for you coming into basically saying, okay, what made you decide to just go looking for something online or another opportunity or more income or what? What was going on?
Oh, you know what? I got into cycling in 2020. I fell in love with it. And by me being a stay-at-home mom and homeschooling mom, I had to depend on my husband's income. And I didn't feel like it was fair for me to ask him for money for my hobby, right? And so I was like, okay, I need to find a way to make money so I don't have to keep asking him for because cycling, I mean, once you really get into it, it is not very cheap, especially if you fall in love with it like I did. So I was trying to find a way of making some money, but also helping people at the same time. And because I had so many ideas in my head, I didn't know which way to go. And then I found this coach and she was like, well, I can help you, kind of figure that out. I have people that have things all over the place and we can help you hone in to your gift. So I was like, okay, great. She's going to help me pour this out of me, whatever is in me, so I can help people. That's really what I wanted to do is help people at the same time make money too.
Okay, so you did the cycling thing. Now after you did the cycling thing, what happened? What happened after that? Like, is that when did you stumble upon the IPS program or before you found the legacy or like or what? Like how what was
Oh, so this is what happened. So it was another young lady that was in the program that I was in also. And I felt like that it was me because whenever something goes wrong in my life, I look at myself first. Like, what did I do wrong instead of blaming somebody else? And so I was really at home feeling bad about how things went. And she wound up sending me a message saying, girl, it's not just you used to work for this lady. And a lot of other people dealt with the same thing that you're dealing with. And then she was like, and I found this program, fill in the blanks, the blueprint, and I'm following and I'm making this kind of money. So I'm like, wait a minute, what?
this is when you were doing the cycling thing, correct? Or what or no?
I mean, I was at that point, that was 2023. So at that point, I wasn't cycling, but I wasn't cycling as much because I was busy trying to build my coaching
Okay,
business.
so you got into the coaching after the cycling. Okay. So you got into coaching.
And I wasn't cycling as much. So I started getting really sad because I didn't have time to do it because I was so busy trying to build that coaching business. And I wasn't making money. And the expenses that I had like far exceeded the income that I was getting. So I was like, nah, something got to change. And she was like, she making money online, don't have to DM anybody. So I'm like, wait a minute, what? So yeah.
Okay. And okay. And okay, so I'm just writing up a few things. Give me a second.
No, take your time. Thank you.
It wasn't until what month did you join it? Do you remember? I was just curious.
Um,
It don't matter if you don't know. That's fine.
I think it was May. Actually, it was May. It was May.
In May of 2023. Okay. So in a nutshell, and guys, I want you to understand something. So when I create this, when I kind of format this story for you guys, this is kind of like a rough job because nobody knows your story like you, right? So when I say this, you're probably thinking like, well, that ain't how exactly it went. And this is why it's just an ideal. You can plug into, you'll be able to, once you get it set up, and I'm gonna tell you what else I'm gonna do. Like, so when I get this set up, I'm going to for all three of you guys, I'm going to email it. I'm going to email you a copy of it, like a rough draft, right? And I'm even going to put it off in the chat G. So I'm going to send you my version, and then I'm going to put it up in the chat GPT and send you chat GPT's version too. So you can just kind of have an idea, because chat GPT is amazing when it comes to formatting stuff, right? So in a nutshell, your story is a little different than most people's, Tasha, because most people have like, they either had a dead end job, or they were working too many hours, or they were stressed, or they was in debt or whatever. So yours is a little different. But in a nutshell, let me see. We stayed at. So in a nutshell, you was a stay-at-home mom, and you didn't want to depend on your husband's income. You wanted to make your own, money, because you're independent. And so what you end up doing, you end up getting off into cycling, right? So and okay, so you was a stay-at-home mom. You was a stay-at-home mom. You didn't want to. I want to ask you this. Well, no, that's fine. So you was a stay-at-home mom. You was in a home with one income. So you was a stay-at-home mom, and you guys only had one income in the house. Let me make sure I write this. One
Yes.
income.
And he worked a lot of hours. He was already working like mad overtime just for us to keep, the bills afloat and things like that. But I did used to work a federal government job. I did that job for 10 years. And I left that job. We agreed because the kids were younger then. So we realized it was cheaper for me to stay home than for me to keep working and paying that money to daycare. And so once I came home, I'm like, I might as well homeschool because I'm already home. And so that's how I wound up homeschooling. But as they were getting older and started having different interests, I started seeing like all the expenses go up. And I'm like, man, I can't ask this man to work harder than when he was already working. Like I was barely even seeing him. Like we're married. And a lot of times I felt like a married single mom because everything was on me when it came time for the kids going to doctor's appointments, their events, different things they were involved in. It was like I was by myself. And so
Okay.
when I cycling, I found an outlet for me.
So you say you worked for the federal government for 10 years, or you worked
Years
okay
before I came home. Yep.
before you became a stay-at-home mom?
Yes. Sorry, I
Okay.
didn't, but yeah.
Or a stay-at-home wife, or I know
Yes.
some people they don't like the stay-at-home mom, they like the stay-at-home wife, or I don't know if that's a terminology thing. Okay, so in a nutshell, right? So basically, you got the hook, and then you got, hey, if you're new here, I'm Tasha. Again, guys, you don't have to say it in every video, but you want to say it in, like, if you're not saying it at all, you want to say it in at least every third or fourth video until you've done like 12 or 15 videos. So then they'll have an idea who at least who your name is. So in a nutshell, her name is Tasha. For 10 years, she worked she worked for the federal government. And, then you said your kids were small. So she worked for the federal government for 10 years, and of course her husband worked, and, of course her kids were small. So of course, with daycare being expensive, she decided to be a stay-at-home mom, right? And at the time, her husband was working a lot of overtime, and she just wanted to she got to a point where, you know as a stay-at-home mom, she didn't want to ask her husband for money, or she realized that her husband needed help. There's so many ways that you can format this, Tasha. So and I'll when I break this down, I'll make sure I'll put all of those in there as far as like how you want to word it, because it is up to you. But again, in a nutshell, guys, she worked, so for the nutshell, Tasha. So for 10 years, you worked as for the federal government, and your husband worked, but your kids were small, daycare was expensive, so you decide to stay home, be a stay-at-home mom. Your husband was working tons of hours, and let me see, and what you decided to do, you didn't want to ask you got to a point where you didn't want to ask your husband for money. So you basically went out looking for ways to make your own money, and you wanted to start your own business. So that's when you got off into cycling. And I mean, not cycle, yeah, you got into cycling, right? After you got off into cycling, that went, let me see. Now, how did that go? Because I can't remember how you said you.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm sorry. Okay. Because
Just give
like,
it to me in a nutshell.
right. In a nutshell, I forgot I started doing real estate and I took my kids to Disney and they had rented bikes there and the kids wanted to ride bikes. And so that's how I got into cycling. That was like in 2020. And and I wound up loving it more than they did. And I just wanted to do it all the time. Like I didn't want to do anything else but cycle.
Okay,
When
okay,
I
cool.
coaching business, I could.
Okay, so again, guys, so for 10 years she worked for the federal government, you know, and of course her husband worked, he worked crazy hours, and you know, because your kids were small, you know, to save money, you decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And at the time your husband was working a lot of hours, and you know, you basically you got tired of asking your husband for money, and you wanted to have your own. You wanted to have your own money. You wanted to start your own business, and so you started cycling, and then of course after cycling, you got off into coaching, right? So you got off into coaching, but the thing about with the coaching, you wasn't making enough money. Let me see, money and my expenses. You wasn't making enough money in the coaching, yet your expenses were. It seemed like your expenses were constantly climbing and climbing. So this is kind of like a nutshell, because you got to understand, guys. See, we may think our story ain't a lot, but there are a variety of pain points in this right here. This is why I'm telling you, everybody has a story that can pay them $10,000 every month, because there's 5 billion people on social media and somebody is going to relate to your story. So that's why you want to get to the point where where you're getting bored telling your story. So in a nutshell, again, she got up into coaching, but she wasn't making enough money because she wasn't making enough money. And of course, the bills were constantly piling up. And of course, she saw a friend of hers talking about this opportunity. And it wasn't until back here in May of 2023 that she stumbled across this blueprint, or that she got introduced to digital marketing and stumbled across this blueprint, right? So again, I'm gonna run through this real quick, Tasha, because it's really simple, right? Because see, you gotta understand your story. You could tell your story. It would take you 45 minutes, but as you know, if you're on TikTok, you only got a minute and a half tops. You know, in my opinion, to really keep the audience engaged. And so after you say your hook, boom, you know, your hook could be anything, or it could be something around cycling. It could be anything around a job. It could be something like um, let me see. Uh,
You know what? The pain point that I remember that I was feeling at that time is that I was feeling like I did not have a life. Like I felt dead inside, like really. And when I was cycling, that brought me so much freedom, so much peace, so much life. And it was like, and it wasn't until around May or June that I realized, like, oh my God, I barely rode my bike last year. Right. And I was like, and I barely been riding my bike this year.
See, but
And
this is what I want you to understand. This is what I want you to understand, though, Tasha. So, like I don't know if you're doing I don't know if you're doing lives, but you can like really go off into that in a live, like because on your what you call, because you gotta say when you're on TikTok, I don't know if you're on TikTok or not, or if that's the platform you're doing. Okay, so you're not gonna be able to, because even if you just say all this, it's gonna be like a 2 minute and some story, and it's gonna be probably some dead parts in there, and you're gonna lose people. So we want to keep them engaged. So again, I'm chopping a lot of this stuff up and leaving it out. That's why when I go live, you can go more off into your story, and you can go more in depth because you have an hour, or sometimes I stay on longer than an hour. So I'm just kind of hitting like some key points. So again, 10 years as you worked as a for the federal government for 10 years. And of course, you know, you had small kids, and of course your husband worked. My husband, you know, my husband worked as well, and daycare daycare was outrageous. So I decided to be a stay-at-home mom, and it got to a point where you know I didn't want to keep asking my husband for money, so I decided to go and I decided to go out and try to get my own income, right? And I always wanted to start my own business, so that's when I got off into cycling, and that was pretty good. And then of course I got off into coaching, but the coaching wasn't paying me enough money, and of course my expenses were constantly rising. So the pain point, first of all, is that you and uncle, and again, you could be like, and my husband was the only one working. So your husband was the only one working. So you know, because when you was a stay-at-home mom, so we only had one income. My husband was the only income. He was working a lot of hours. That's 2 pain points. Number three is that let me see. You got to okay, so you wasn't when you got off into the coaching, you wasn't making enough money. That's a pain point. And number four, your expenses, which is your bills, they kept piling up every month, right? And
Yep.
so, and again, I'm gonna format this for you, and then I'm gonna email it to you. And then, of course, while you were still looking, it wasn't until May of 2023 that you actually got introduced to digital marketing and you stumbled across this blueprint. So I'm gonna go back in and get the story, but let me finish this back end part for you, right? So when you say it wasn't until May of 2003 that you stumbled across this blueprint. So now, guys, this is where you're gonna take people on a journey. This is what, because you done got them with the hook, you done got them with your name. Now you're sharing a little bit of your story. You're hitting a little bit of those pain points. The pain points come from your story. That's where the relatability comes in from, guys. And that's why they're going to ask you for information, right? So now you want to share when you discovered the program, which she said it. Well, it wasn't until back here in May of 2023 that I stumbled across digital marketing and I found this blueprint. Number 5, share what the blueprint is teaching you, right? So what is the blueprint teaching me? What does the blueprint teach you? So it wasn't until May of 2023 that I stumbled across this blueprint. And following this blueprint, I've developed these high income skills, or I'm learning these high income skills, right? Because that's what you're doing. The blueprint, you're learning high income skills. So you're learning these high income skills where you're learning these high income skills where you've started and built, you're starting or you built an online business using social media to attract customers, and you don't even have to get on the phone with anybody, or you don't even have to speak to anybody because your business is automated, right? So again, now that you found the blueprint, the reason why you want to tell them what you're doing, what does this blueprint teach you? Well, it's teaching me these now, guys. And following this blueprint, I've developed these high income skills, or I'm developing these high income skills where I've been able to use social media and build me an online business and attract daily paying customers. And I don't even have to speak to nobody or get on the phone with anyone because I have a business that's automated, right? Because why? People think, oh, you got to get on the phone. You got to talk to people. We got introverts. People are shy. They ain't got time to be doing all that, right? So all you're doing is easing the anxiety, because that's why people already think, oh, you got to do all this stuff to start an online business. No, guys, listen, I've learned these high income skills, and with these skills, I have been able to use social media to build an online business and attract customers. And I don't even have to get on the phone with nobody or speak to anyone because I have a business that's automated, right? So it's automated. Now, number 6, you're going to share what you like about the program. Guys, this is key. You always want to be sharing what you like about the program. So Tasha will be like, and what I love about this blueprint is the fact that it only required me 2 hours a day to learn these skills. So it only required me 2 hours a day to learn these skills. And I didn't have to have no tech skills. I didn't have to have no experience or no following or no social media following. So you can say, I didn't have to have no tech skills, no experience, or no social media following. Guys, this is gold. And the reason why is because people think that you have to have some doggone, what's her name? What's the Travis Kelce's girlfriend's name? I forgot her name. They think you got to have some crazy following, right? They think you got to know how to build websites and all this magical stuff. They think you got to be somebody who have all this experience. No. So when you tell them, guys, look, it only required me 2 hours a day. I love the fact that it only required me 2 hours a day to learn these skills. And I didn't have to have no tech skills. So I'm not tech savvy. And I didn't have to have no experience or no social media following. Guys, now what you're doing, you're just lowering the anxiety. So now they're telling themselves, okay, so I ain't got to have no following. I ain't got to have no tech skills either. No experience. You got them, guys. They're curious. And that's all you want them is curious, right? So when you say that, now you're taking them in for the landing spot, guys, which is number 7, you're going to share what problem is solving. So now that you done told them, hey, I love the fact that it only required me 2 hours a day to learn these skills. And I'm not tech savvy. So I didn't have to have any experience, no tech skills, or no social media following. And now because of this 2-hour workday, guys, even if you don't have it, this is the destination. And now because of this 2-hour workday, I now have more time to spend with my family, more time to do the things that I want to do. In Tasha's case, I now have more time. I can now help my husband, right? I don't have to work. I don't have to. He doesn't have to pay all the bills, right? I now have more time to cycle, right? But not only that, because I'm out doing the things that I love to do, my business is still out there working for me in the background because it's automated. So you're painting a picture of freedom because that's what this business can give you, right? So you have a 2-hour workday. Now you have more time. The two things that everybody wants, time and freedom, right? So now you have more time because of the 2-hour workday. Now she can cycle more. She can help her husband with the bills. He doesn't have to be the only one paying everything. But on top of that, guys, because my business is automated, it's still out there working for me in the background, right? Now, as a bonus, what Tasha could say, she could say, but it's not just me. I'm also a part of a thriving community of almost 50,000 other people. And when you say that, it lets people know, okay, guess what? So it's just not you, guys. I know this sounds crazy, but people really think that you be the only person in the whole business. When you say that, it lets them know, oh, so there's more people. Yes, I'm a part of a community, a supportive community of almost 50,000 other people. And guys, guess what? I get coached live. I get live interactive mentoring by a millionaire, somebody who made over $1 million in their first 17 months. And then you just end it, guys, with the CTA, right? God, there's so many ways you can do your CTA. You could say like, hey, if you'd like to learn more about this blueprint that I'm following, then put the word blueprint in the comments and I'd be happy to send you guys over all the blueprint details. Guys, I'm gonna tell you something you wanna be good at, which I do this stuff all the time. And this just comes with reps. That's using hand gestures, shaking your head, all that stuff. Like you learn them in. So I mean, I'll say something like, I don't know what your situation is or if you have any kind of problem, but if you'd like to learn more about this blueprint that I'm following, then just put the word details in the comment section and I'll be happy to send you guys over all the blueprint information, right? So you're just, you're just kind of leading them on. You're making them say, you're basically telling them, yeah, put it in the comments so I can send that information over to you, right? Guys, our number one goal is just to get them to ask for information. If you pique enough interest and curiosity, they're going to ask for information. But it's going to start with the story of yours. So Tasha may not think, oh, I'm a cyclist. I don't have a story. But guess what she does? Because I'm going to tell you why. First of all, she's a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife, right? There's a lot of stay-at-home moms. That's a pain point in itself. Second of all, she has a husband who's working, so they only have one income in the home, right? That's a pain point, right? So not on top of that, he's working a lot of hours. That's a pain point, right? Believe it or not, she stopped working, but she didn't want to ask him for any money, so she want to have her own money. A lot of people are like that, right? On top of that, so when she got off into coaching, she wasn't making enough money, pain point, yet them bills was steady piling up, pain point. And it wasn't until, because all the time she's already looking, guys. So it wasn't until May of 2023 that she actually stumbled upon digital marketing, or she got introduced to digital marketing, and that's when she found this blueprint. And then you just take them on a journey. So again, for Tasha's, and I'll write this up for you, Tasha, so you will know exactly what to say, and you can adjust it and kind of put in however you want to. If you want to take some pain points out and add some because you know more than I do, then you can. But in a nutshell, Tasha will use her hook, whatever she decide to use, and she's like, hey, guys, if you're new here, I'm Tasha, and for 10 years I worked for the federal government. Let me say, yeah. And for 10 years, what she say felt like, for 10 years I worked for the federal government, and of course my husband worked at the time as well, and daycare was so expensive, so to save money I decided to stay home, and it got to a point where my husband was working a lot of hours, 50 to 60 hours a week, right? And I got to a point where I was just tired of asking him for money. So I wanted to have my own income. So I wanted to start my own business. And so I got up into cycling because that's something that I love to do. And then I eventually got up into coaching. But the thing about the coaching, guys, was that I wasn't making enough money. But yet, while I wasn't making enough money, the bills were constantly piling up. And my husband was the only person working, right? And it wasn't until May of 2023 that I actually got introduced to digital marketing by a friend of mine. And that's when I found this blueprint. And what I've learned with this blueprint, I've learned these high income skills where I've been able to use social media and build an online business where I'm able to attract customers. And I never even have to get on the phone with anybody or speak to anybody. And the reason why is because my business is completely automated. But you know what I love the most? I love the fact that it only required me 2 hours a day to learn this skill, right? And I'm not tech savvy, so I didn't have to have no tech skills. I didn't have to have no experience or no social media following. And now because of this 2 hour workday, I now have more time to cycle. I can help my husband with the bills, right? I'm not stressed, right? My husband doesn't have to depend on working all those hours. But not only that, guys, because my business is automated, it's out there working for me in the background. Now, I don't know about you guys, or I don't know what your situation is, but if you'd like to learn more about this blueprint that I'm following that has allowed me to work 2 hours a day from home, then just put the word details in the comments and I'll be happy to send you guys over all the blueprint information. So there's so many ways that you can end your CTA, right? But it all starts with the story, guys. We may tell ourselves, oh man, that just, guys, you don't have to have a story like me where you was homeless and I slept out in my car by the lake. That don't mean any, listen, no, you can have a story just like yours because you have a story that has pain points in it. So let's say, even though Tasha, even though Tasha was a stay-at-home mom, or she could have been like, it could have been another woman that was a baby mama, right? Or it could have been anything, or it could have been vice versa. It could have been the guy who was a stay-at-home dad, a stay-at-home husband, and she was working 60 hours a week, right? That's still a one parent, that's still a one house, a one home, a one household income, right? Guys, the only thing that matters is the pain point. It doesn't matter who does who or what. The only thing that matters is the pain. That's the relatability connection right there. That's where the connection comes from. Because guess what? She's gonna share her story, and people are gonna be like, "Oh man, shoot, yeah, my husband is the only person working too right now, or my wife is the only one working. I'm staying home right now watching the kids. Men do stay at home watch the kids, guys, right? Man, there is people can relate to her being in coaching, right? People can relate to her not wanting to, ask her husband for money. You want your own money. You want to start your own business, right? People can relate to, not making enough money doing a side gig or even at their job, yet those bills is constantly piling up on that kitchen table in there, right? And yet, then you send them on that journey. Guys, it wasn't until I found this blueprint while I was looking. It wasn't until May of 2023 that I stumbled across digital marketing. Or it wasn't until May of 23 that I found this blueprint or I got introduced to it. And then, boom, you take them on a journey, guys. What are you learning? I'm learning these high income skills. What are you doing with these skills? I have been able to use social media and build an online business, and I can attract customers because most people think you got to get on the phone to do it. No, you don't. I'm able to attract customers and I don't have to get on the phone. I don't have to speak to nobody. Why? Because I have a business that's automated. But you know what I love about it, Bernie? I love the fact that it only required me 2 hours to learn these skills. And I'm not tech savvy. So I didn't have to have no tech skills, no experience, or no social media following. And now because of this 2 hour workday, I now have more time. I can cycle all day long now. I can help my husband. The bills, we're getting things taken care of. But on top of that, guys, my business, because it's automated, is still out there working for me in the background. So guys, I don't know what your situation is, but if you'd like to learn more about this blueprint that I've been following, that has allowed me to have a 2 hour workday and be able to spend more time doing the things that I love to do, then just put the word details in the comments and I'd be happy to send you guys over all that information. Guys, that's it. Listen, this is all I do. I've been doing this for 14 months. It's just now when you get to the point where your story, you got your story so dialed in, you already know what you're going to say when you create content. You can attack it from all different angles now. You don't even have to use the story because guess what? They already know your story. I have people tell me, hey man, you're that guy who got fired from that welder job. What is it that you do again? They don't even know what I do, but they know my story. Your story is more important than what you do because your story is going to lead them to wanting to know what you do, right? That's why the story is more important than the program, right? So what I'm going to do, I got this wrote up, Tasha. I'm going to write that up for you. I'm going to email it to you. I'm going to send it to you in mine, and then I'm going to put it in Chat GPT and send it to you in Chat GPT, which of course Chat GPT will be better than mine. But I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. And again, you can just plug and play however you want to do it. All right.
Yes. Thank you. And I realize that a lot of my content, I don't share my story. I just get right into it and start.
It's everything, guys. It's everything. It's everything. They're not gonna ask if you're creating content and you're just talking and oh, it's digital marketing and these programs, and they don't care about none of that. Your interested ideal customer don't care about you got a program that can make $1 million per sign up. They don't care about nothing. They're going through stuff in their personal life. They can't pay their bills. They're behind on the rent. The doggone car about to get repoed. The electric about to get cut off. And they want to find a way that they can help them do that. So when you get to talking about you experiencing situations that you're going through, oh, they're locked in now. You got them. And then you talk about this program. What? 2 hours a day? What? Hey, Andy, can I get some of that information? Guys, I'm telling you, like it's like clockwork. Don't reinvent the wheel. Beat the hell out of, pardon my French. Beat that story. Get bored telling it. Get bored telling that story. The same story, the same one. Michelle says it all the time. She said people always email her about, you just say the same old stuff over and over. Exactly. It made over $5 million. Keep on doing it, Michelle O'Neill. Yes, that's what you want. Keep it up. I'm going to keep on sharing mine. I've made over $340,000 in 14 months sharing this same old welder story, right? Leading them on a journey, guys. And then in the process, they're gonna grow to like you, know you, and trust you, and they're going to join you. They're going to join you. It may be 3 months, 2 months. It doesn't matter. I just had somebody join me that said they've been following me for 7 months. We can't help when they join. We can only show up. If you show up with your story powerful, master it, master the 2-hour workday, they're going to join you. They're going to join you because they're struggling. Taxes is going to be done in 2 more weeks. Then what? You got 10 more months of being behind on your bills and stressed out. That's why it's the best time to get on it, guys, right? Okay, so, and again, like I said, I'll get that typed up for you, Tasha. I can promise you're gonna like it when I put it together. Okay, who's that? Is that Bernie? Let me see. Okay, Bernie Doucette.
Doucette.
Okay,
Yeah, you pronounced that right.
Miss Bernie, how are you doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so how long have you been in the program? Or
I purchased it December of 2023. I didn't start till January.
okay, so December of, we'll just say, well, okay, so we'll say January of 24.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we started the same time.
Yeah.
January 24. Okay, so what was your reason, Miss Bernie? What was the reason? Why did you purchase the program? Like, what was going on in your life at the time that made you felt like you just had to go looking for something that to help you, or what was going on in your life? What were you doing?
At that time, I was working in direct sales. You know those people that do road shows at Costco?
Yeah.
That was me.
How long were
Staying
you in direct sales?
for about 4 years.
4?
About 4 years.
Okay, 4 years. Okay.
Yeah, just 4 years. I was exhausted. The comps had changed, and my manager had died, and the new manager that took over decreased our income. I was traveling all the time, and my income had decreased, and I was in debt. And a friend of mine who was doing the same thing introduced this program. She said, I have 2 options. She said, you can do this program, which was going to mean at home, working a couple of hours a day, or insurance. I was interviewed for the insurance, and he said, you can sell to family and friends, right? And I said, no way. I said, I'm not doing that. And it was going to require me to travel again. So I opted for this one.
Okay, so you didn't like the traveling.
No, and I didn't like having to sell, especially to family or friends.
Okay. So you're away from your family a lot?
I was away from my family a lot. So I was putting in all these hours and it just wasn't cutting it.
So working a lot of hours. So you're working a lot of hours.
I'm a retired nurse. I nursed for a lot of years and I had my own business. So going from that to this, what I was doing was like, I was really disappointed in myself.
You say you were retired nurse?
I'm a retired nurse, and then my husband and I had our own business for about 10 years.
Okay. And this is before you got into direct sales or
Yes.
Okay, so this is before you got into direct sales. Okay.
Yes.
So you say you were a retired nurse of how many years?
Almost 30 years.
Let me grab me another pen real quick, guys. Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry about that. All right. See, man, that's why I be glad. That's why I be glad when I buy this new house, guys. See, this little house right here is like 850 square foot, but I'm getting ready to buy one that's like 4,000 square feet.
Wow.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so let me try to let me see if this pen is working. All thanks to this business. Okay, guys, I may have to go into the living room to get me a pen.
No problem.
I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling. See, I ain't got it all together, but I'm gonna help you guys get it together. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me like
Sure.
10 seconds. Get back. Get back. Get back. Ah, okay, okay. All righty, all right. I'm back. Okay, so let me start over with Miss Bernie. So you say you was nurse,
Mm-hmm.
retired nurse
Mm-hmm.
of 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so retired nurse of 30 years. Um,
My husband and I owned our own business for 10.
um,
Then we sold that business, moved across the country to help with my in-laws who were not well. And our savings just got eaten away because neither one of us were working.
retired nurse of 30 years. Husband I owned. What kind of business that you and your husband owned?
We owned real estate
Okay. Husband I owned
and managed properties.
real estate. Now, what happened with that? Do you guys still do that, or is it like
No, we sold it.
okay, you sold it?
And then we moved across the country because my in-laws, my husband's mom wasn't doing well. But then as had moved for a couple of years, our savings got eaten away because neither one of us were working. So
Okay,
that's when I opted for this direct sales job at
gotcha.
Costco.
And save it.
And I'm in my 60s. There's not a lot of options for us in our 60s.
Sold it to get depleted.
I soon realized.
Depleted cause we weren't working. Weren't working. You got into direct sales, did that for 4 years. Okay, so this is a good story. So in a nutshell, Miss Bernie, for 30, and again, this is just like a rough draft. So for 30 years, you was a retired nurse, and you and your husband, you guys ran a business in real estate. And of course, you sold that business and you guys relocated. You don't have to go off into the where you live at, where you were relocated at, whatever. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just kind of compressing it a little bit, Miss Bernie. So again, for 30 years, you was a retired nurse of 30 years, and you and your husband ran a business with dealing with real estate. And of course, you guys sold that and you guys relocated. Well, because you guys after a while you guys weren't working, so your savings started to get depleted, and then that's when you got off into direct sales. And of course, you did that for a couple of years. Of course, you traveled, which you didn't like. You was away from your family. You was exhausted. What else you said? God, you
Actually, during that time, my husband got sick. He had a stroke, put on a slew of medications. So that depleted our savings even more because we had no coverage. And
And you can
yeah,
always, and like I said, how I'm writing this up, you can always go back and add, like guys, you can always add that stuff in there, right? I may not say it on here, but you can add it. You will be able to add it into your story. Like when I write this up, if you don't want something to be said in there, which is a pain point, that's a pain point too, Miss Bernie. But you can take what I said out and you can add that, just whatever you feel comfortable with, because all of them are pain points. So
yeah, I
again,
always had to have a difficult time what to include in my story. So a lot of
yes.
times I don't say a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is why you want to have structure. This is
Hmm.
this is what I'm saying. Like, because you gotta understand, like you're retired nurse of 30 years. Well, you're gonna attract nurses. That's related. You're going to attract a lot of women who are nurses, whether they're retired, whether they just started out of nursing school, 2 years in, it doesn't matter. That's relatable. That's relatable. That's a relatable field. So again, so you was a retired nurse for 30 years. You and your husband had a business that you ran with real estate. Not long after that, you guys, you sold that and you relocated. Now your hook, yeah, not long after that, you resold that and you guys relocated. And because you guys weren't working, your savings started to deplete, because your husband got sick and you didn't really have any health care. So your husband got your savings started to deplete. So that's when I got off into direct sales. You got off into direct sales. I did that for a couple of years. This was something I really didn't like. I was exhausted. I traveled a lot, which I didn't like. I stayed away from my family. And then on top of that, guys, they decreased my pay. I think did you say they decreased your pay or your income or something like
Yeah,
that?
it
So
decreased my income. So
so
I
there's like
basically had to work harder for less.
yes, so there's like 10 pain points in there. Like you may not even consider
Hmm.
what they are. All relatable. There's a lot of people who work jobs that done got their pay reduced, right? There's a lot of people who are exhausted at their jobs. A lot of people who travel that they hate. They hate it, right? Because they're away from their families. Like 1,000 pain points, right? So again, um, after your husband got sick, and of course you guys got to running through your savings started getting depleted. So that's when you got off again into start doing some direct sales. You did that for a couple of years. That job had you exhausted. You traveled a lot. You was away from your family. And on top of that, they end up decreasing your pay. And while looking, it wasn't until January of last year, or January of 2024, that I actually stumbled across this blueprint, or that I actually got introduced to digital marketing and stumbled across this blueprint. So it doesn't matter how you say it, right? But again,
Hmm.
you always want to let them know when you found it. So again, I'm gonna go back and replay this for you again. Uh,
Sure.
but again, once you let them know, hey, it wasn't until back here in January of last year that I stumbled across this blueprint. And then again, guys, you're just taking them through the journey now. And now, well, with this blueprint, guys, I'm this training, I'm learning these high income skills. And now I've been able to build me an online business using social media to attract customers. And I never even have to speak to anybody because I have an automated business. And I love that it only required me 2 hours a day to learn these skills. And I'm not someone who's tech savvy. So I didn't have to have no tech skills, no experience, or no huge social media following. And now, because of this 2 hour workday, I now have more time to do the things I want to do, right? I don't have to, I'm not exhausted, right? You can go back and focus on those things that you were, letting people know you're no longer, see, you're selling the destination now. Guys, I'm no longer exhausted now, right? I no longer have to travel and be away from my family. I have more time now to attend to my husband and do the things we want to do. But on top of that, while I'm out doing that, my business is still out there working for me in the background because it's automated, right? So anytime when you're selling that destination, you want to go back and let your audience know the pain points that you were experiencing. Now, because it's 2 hour workday, that's a beauty right there. A 2 hour workday, most people work 8 to 12. Now,
Hmm.
because of this, I have more time. You guys always tell them you have more time. I have more time now to do the things that I want to do. I'm not exhausted like I was when I was doing that retail business, guys. I don't have to travel and be away from my family. But on top of that, my business, because it's automated, it's out there working for me 24/7 while I'm doing the things that I love to do now. Guys, even if you ain't, you sell the destination because that's what your audience wants. Your perfect customer want a solution. They just want to know
Hmm.
that there's a solution. That's all they care about. They don't care about the money part because that'll take care of itself. Once they ask for information, it's gonna take care of itself. That's why it don't matter if you make any money, if you've made any money or not. You can still make money without making money in this business because it all starts with the story. And then, hey, if you'd like to learn more about this blueprint that I'm following, then just put the word blueprint in the comment section, and I'd be happy to send you guys over the information. Or if you'd like to learn more about this program, then just comment program or whatever your CTA is. That's it, Miss Bernie. So again, um, your hook could be um, are you tired and exhausted from working a 9 to 5? Some of the best hooks are questions because it makes the mind think. God, they got to pause. So you grab your phone. Are you tired of working? Does your 9 to 5 got you tired and exhausted? Are you tired and exhausted from working a 9 to 5? if you're new here, I'm Bernie, and for 30 years, and for 30 years I worked as a nurse, and for 30 years I worked as a nurse, right? And of course, me and my husband, for 30 years, no, you can say that. You can say, I'm a retired. So if you guys, if you're new here, I'm Bernie. I'm a retired nurse for 30 years, and me and my husband used to run a real estate business, and of course, we sold that business and we up and relocated, and of course, my husband got sick, and because we weren't working at the time, my our savings got to getting depleted. And so what I ended up doing, I ended up going off into direct sales, getting this direct sale job, worked there a couple of years, but guys, it was exhausting. I was broke down. My body was tired. I stayed traveling, which I didn't like to do. I was away from my family. And on top of that, they end up decreasing my pay. And it wasn't until January of last year that I actually got introduced to digital marketing and I found this blueprint. And following this blueprint, I've developed these high income skills, or I'm learning these high income skills. And I've been able to use social media and build an online business where I'm able to attract customers. And I don't even have to get on the phone or speak to nobody because I have a business that's automated. But you know what I love best about this program? I love it. It only requires me 2 hours a day to learn these skills. And I'm not someone who's tech savvy. So I didn't have to have no tech skills, no experience required, and I didn't have to have a huge social media following. And now, because of this 2 hour workday, I now have more time to do the things that I want to do. I'm not exhausted. I don't have to be away from my family. I can do things with my husband. But on top of that, while I'm doing those things, my business is still out there working for me 24/7 in the background. So guys, I don't know what your
Excellent.
situation is, but if you'd like to learn more about this program that I'm following that has allowed me more time to do the things that I want to do, just following a simple step-by-step proven blueprint, then just put the word blueprint in the comments or comment info below and I'd be happy to send you guys some information. Guys, I'm telling you, man, here, listen, just as well as I'm black and this shirt's green, if you guys could just get this down, I'm telling you, it is, you don't even understand how powerful your story is. You want to get to this, you want to get that thing to the point where you already know what you're going to say. And then this is the beauty of this, Miss Bernie. You plug this story into Chat GPT. You can plug this into Chat GPT, right? I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example. I'm winging this, guys, so don't judge me. I'm winging it, right? I'm winging it. I want to show you how powerful Chat GPT is. Okay, so again, I'm just winging it. Create me 3 stop the scroll viral hooks and titles that I can use for my short form TikTok videos of being a retired nurse of 30 years, exhausted from a job, working, relocating, not being able to live life, struggling because my retirement was getting low and I realized I wasn't going to be able to do things I wanted to do. Got a job in retail. I was exhausted. I hated it. I was traveled a lot. And then they ended up cutting my pay. And let my audience know that not long after that, I discovered an online business that allowed me to work 2 hours a day and be able to learn a high income skill working from my phone. And now I have more time to do the things that I want to do. I can travel. I'm not exhausted. And now I'm doing the things that I enjoy best. I know, guys, I know I was just winging it, right? Don't judge me. But I'm
Sounded
telling
good.
you, this is I didn't think about this. So you can kind of think about it and then boom. So I'm just like just talking off the top of my head, right? So I'm gonna just kind of I'm gonna say, and the reason why I say 3 stop the scroll titles and hooks, because see, guys, when you're editing your videos, you the on the outside, like when people come to your TikTok page or whatever, they see that's your storefront. They see everything. So they'll see I like to use yellow. So they'll use the yellow. It'll say something like, I think today I did one that says snowed in, no problem, still getting paid or something like that. It's almost like a hook in itself. So when I use the titles, I use the titles as my edit cover hook. So when people come to my page, they'll see that in yellow or red or whatever color you use, and they're nosy. People on social media are nosy, so they're going to click on that. Now I use the hook in my video. So here's one. Okay, so this one says, 30 years as a nurse just to end up here. Okay, so I would put that on my cover, right? And this one says hook right out the gate. I gave 30 years of my life to nursing, only to find myself exhausted, struggling, and taking a retail job just to survive. My retirement was running out and I felt stuck until I found a way to work 2 hours a day from my phone, following a simple step-by-step proven blueprint. Now I have more time to do things I want to do. Here's how I did it, right? So I'm just giving you an example, right? But and again, you can say this after you done thought about it. Like once I get this written up and when I put it in Chat GPT for you, Miss Bernie, you'll see how strategically it's going to sound way better. But the pain points right out the gate. I gave 30 years of my life to nursing, only to find myself exhausted, pain point, struggling, pain point, and taking a retail job just to survive, right? I know that said retirement. I didn't mean to say retirement, to say savings. So you can say my savings was running out and I felt stuck. And it wasn't until I found this blueprint, which allows me to work 2 hours a day from my phone and learn this high income skill, right? And then of course they only give you like a little bit, but you can tell them, hey, create me a 30-second script for my TikTok video. Like they'll do the whole script for you, and you can read that, and then you can just kind of decide how you want to use it, right? This one says work 30 years and still struggling. So this one says I thought retirement would be freedom, but instead I was tired, broke, and working in retail just to make ends meet. I knew there had to be a better way, and I found it. When I just and I found it, discovering this blueprint with this 2 hour workday has now allowed me to not only make more money, but I'm able to finally live life on my own terms. Right. So it's just kind of giving you an idea. It's painting a picture. That's the solution, right? And of course, this one said, I didn't work 30 years just to struggle. Man, I'm telling you, man, somebody gonna click on that video.
Yeah.
I didn't just work 30 years just to struggle. 30 years you work at a job, man, you should be sitting back, collecting a big fat check, just kind of traveling the world in your whatever, I'm talking about like, but again, most people, they don't. They work them 30 years, then they got to go to Costco's or Walmart and be a door greeter, right? I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to do that. This one says the hook. I was exhausted from my career. My retirement was running low, and working retail just drained me more. I knew I had to change something. And that's when I found an online business that allowed me to work 2 hours a day from anywhere. Now I'm traveling, enjoying life, and never looking back. Right. So it's just give you an idea. And again, once I type this up for you, Ms. Bernie, I'm gonna email it to you, and then I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna put it all in Chat GPT, and then I'm gonna send you the Chat GPT version, which I can tell you is gonna be better than mine. Right. I look here, you can't outbeat AI, guys. I'm telling you. But it's gonna you'll see, and then you can pitch and choose. Like you can talk to this thing like you're talking to your child or a spouse. It don't matter if you stutter 1,000 times, like they'll put it together, and you can always start over if you don't like what they say, right? And it just says these hooks will grab attention. That's what we want. Speak directly to your audience's fears and make them curious. That's what we want them curious so they can ask for information about how to change your life. And then it says, would you like to refine any of them? So it'll like you can redo it 1,000 times, right? So again, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna type this up. And so when you read it, again, you'll see where I'm coming from. And then if you want to add some other stuff in there, you'll be able to. But each one of them will have like 3 to 5 pain points in there that everybody that you speak to will be able to relate to. It's just all about getting it in front of people and then doing the CTA. But mastering it, guys, mastering it. Like spend 10, 20 minutes a day. I'm talking about just hammering that thing. I used to be in there in the living room in there for 3 hours talking about my story. I'm gonna tell you who.
Thanks so much. Oh my gosh, that's pure gold. Thank you.
Michelle's the one who gave me this format. So back here last year, we was on a training, and she said, "So how long is it taking you guys?" She asked me. She said, "So how long is it taking you to create content?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm having to start over like 7 or 8 times on my video." She said, "You're in your head. You're doing too much. You're trying to make this fancy, perfect video for an audience that ain't even perfect. She said, don't worry about that. Use your hook. Let them know who you are. Tell them about, your story. Tell them about the program, what you like about it. You know what I'm saying? The things that you enjoy. Lead them to a destination and do a CTA. That's what I did. The hook, I introduced myself. If you watch any of my videos, 98% of them, like when I say my hook, I'm like, hey guys, if you're new here, I'm Darrell Hannah. I said it in almost 95% of my videos, right? And then I may go off into the pain points. Sometimes I'll attack them right out the gate. For 14 years, I was a welder. I stayed broke. I was struggling, living paycheck to paycheck. I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I never spent no time with my children. I was stressed out, right? And then on one day, they called me into the office, guys, and they fired me after I gave this job over thousands and thousands of overtime hours. And I hit on rock bottom and I had to go live in a shelter. And I knew that if I didn't escape that cycle, I knew that that was going to kill me because I was already losing weight like a cancer patient and stressed out because I was working too many hours. And I came online and I did a variety of things. So if you've already been previously online, you can be like, you don't have to go off and like, oh yeah, I did this. You're like, hey, I came online and I did a variety of things, but none of them worked out for me. And it wasn't until January of 2024 that I came across digital marketing, and that's when I found this blueprint. And then you just take them on a journey, guys. Right? And then you'll get to the point where you can attack it from a variety of angles. Then you don't necessarily have to even use your name. You could just be like, you could say anything because you already like. Sometimes I'll create content and I may just say, yeah, this is exactly what I was experiencing as a welder. I ain't said nothing about, because I don't already focus on the pain points. You want to hit pain points in every piece of your content need to have a pain point in it. I'm talking about, I don't care if it's 10 seconds. It's got to have a pain point in it, guys. I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. And then I'll go off to Barbara Bush.
Thank you, Darrell. Thanks
Yes,
so much.
absolutely. And
Appreciate it.
I'll get everything over to you. I want to share with you guys something real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, let me see. Because I'm gonna show you let me see. And I know I'm probably gonna have to.
So let's talk.
Hold up. Okay, so I know you guys can't see this, so that's why I'm getting out of this. So now let me try to redo it.
And Darrell, heads up, Barbara's not here. I just checked the participants. So Barbara Bush isn't here. If you want to do Colette, she was the next one with her hand raised.
Okay. I've already done Colette's story. But I mean,
Okay.
I can go over it again. I mean, I didn't write it down or nothing, but I remember doing hers on a training that we did, but I can still do her. I mean, if she wants. But yeah, I've already did her. Hers is on the training. So if I'm gonna do some Q&A, but we're not gonna do her story because I did her story on a training that's already inside the Freedom Builders. She's got to go back in there and get that.
Awesome.
See. I'm gonna share with you guys something real quick. So let me see, prime example. So this one right here, right? So this one I post today. So another snow day. So prime example, guys, this video is just 26 seconds long. 26 seconds, that's it, right? So I want to focus on the pain point. So listen to this. In the caption, I got this from ChatGPT. Stuck at home, no pay, not me, right? Because most people, when the inclement weather, they off work, what does that mean? Check short, you can't, So watch how I just do this. Another snow day means another short check, which means bills are going to be paid late. So you see that? Another snow day, which means another short check, pain point, which means bills are going to be late, pain point. Means you're going to be stressed, but not. You're going to be stressed. That's 3 pain points in like 5 seconds. Me. While other people are stressing about being off of work and knowing that their check's going to be short, I'm over here collecting commissions just like this from my phone with no experience, no tech skills, and no following. So now you don't necessarily have to show proof. I just did that because that's something I got last night while I was watching The Punisher.
Yeah,
but
shall it? No, I'm not talking. I'm doing the stream still.
But as you can see, I focus on I focus on letting them know with no tech skills, no experience, no following, just lowering the anxiety and the pressure. Hey, if you'd like to learn more about how I'm doing this, then just put the word details in the comments and I'll send you guys over exactly what I'm doing. And it's just a quick CTA, guys, just straight to the point. Like I didn't even say nothing about my story or nothing. I just hit the pain points that people are experiencing. And then I sold the destination, right? Which was, hey, if you like to want to learn how I'm just working from home, right? Earning commissions looks like this, right? But you can do one where you don't have to say that.
1 hour from now.
I want you to understand that So here's another one I got out of ChatGPT. It says, I want you, okay, hold up. This one says, snowed in and still getting paid. I got this straight from ChatGPT. This is 31 seconds. People dread bad weather because it means missing work, which means that check's going to be short. But that most people dread. So I just hit it from a different angle. I said, most people dread bad weather because it means that they're going to have to miss work. And that means that their check's going to be short. Right? This is all stuff that people go through. Bad weather because it means missing work, which means that check's going to be short. But it don't bother me because I pretty much work right here from the comfort of my own home, all cozy and snuggled up. And I'm able to earn commissions just like this, guys. And the crazy part about it is that I've been following a program where I only work 2 hours a day and I use social media to attract customers and I never even have to get on the phone or even talk to anybody. You see how I'm always saying, when I say I use social media to attract customers, and I never even have to get on the phone or speak to nobody. Now, I don't know what your situation is, but if you'd like to learn more about what I'm doing, then just put the word details in the comments, and I'd be happy to send you guys over all that information. So as you to understand that most people. So as you can see, guys, how comfortable I am, just saying that. Like it'd be like as if I was talking to my wife outside, right? I'm just like everything. Like there's no pressure. I'm not pressing. I'm not sweating. My chest ain't tight. Because when you do that, when you feel like that, guys, your energy is coming through the camera. They can sense that. They can sense that you're pressing because you've seen you're uptight. Like, it's like like the Tin Man, your knee elbows need to be oiled, or your throat need to be oiled, or your neck. That's how it sounds. And it should just sound, hey guys, like as if you're just talking like, man, and that just comes with reps. That just comes with reps, guys. That's why you want to be spending, I be spending like 10, I don't care if it's 10 minutes a day. 1% better. That's all we want to try to do. 1% better. That's it. 1% better. I'm telling you, you'll master that story. You'll be excited to create content because I can get all my videos created and edited and uploaded in my draft in like 5 minutes if I wanted to. All of them. And I was going to do some batch content today, but again, I thought I was going to meet Victoria, so I didn't. So I just did those 3 videos and went live and that was it. Right. So I'm starting to do more 30-second videos because, you again, guys, just go straight to ChatGPT. Hey, guys, create me a 30-second script that I can use, and then just talk about who you are, your pain points. Boom, guys, I'm telling you, it's like that thing will get 800 views, 6,000 views. In the last week, I have all my content has come from ChatGPT, and I've had 3 viral videos. 3 viral videos, all from ChatGPT, just talking to it like I'm talking to one of my kids, and they're like, hey, and I always say, create me 3 viral stop the scroll titles and hooks. And I use the titles as the edit covers, and then I use the hook in the video. But I read it and then I kind of put it in my own terms. All right. So, okay, let me pick somebody else. Let me see. I'm just gonna wing it. Let me see. Any, mini, money, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. Amy Myers. We're gonna use Miss Amy Myers. Hold up. Can you hear me, Amy?
Yes.
Okay, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I feel like I'm on The Price is Right.
I feel like I'm Bob Barker.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, so all right, so Amy, so how long have you been with Legacy?
May of 2024.
Okay, so May of last year, May of 2024. Okay, now what were you doing before? Okay, I'll put it like this. So, all right, was this like your first online opportunity?
No.
Okay,
No.
okay. So how long have you been online?
Um, I was online like in 2017 to 2021,
Okay.
but then I had like a lifestyle change, so then I did have to work full time.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so before you came online in 2017, what was your reason for coming online? What was going on in your life? What were you doing at the time that wasn't going how you wanted it to go that made you decide to try the online thing? What were you doing before you came online?
I was a stay-at-home mom, and I would work like part-time jobs here and there. Um, and so what I did to get online was I started a blog.
Why did you what was your reason for coming online? Why did you decide to do that? Why did you decide to venture out and try to do something online?
Because I always wanted to start a blog. So, I decided to do that because I wanted to do like PLR, like printable on Etsy and things like that, but I didn't make it that far.
Okay, so you were looking for ways to make some extra money, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so why were you looking for ways to make some extra money?
To add income to the household
Okay,
to
so
help
what,
pay bills.
okay, I'm not trying to get off into your personal life. Did you have like a one income where are you did you guys have were you in a one income home or two or what was going on?
So I had twins at the time, and then I had another one. So we had three kids. I was stay at home. So my husband at the time was working full time, so I was able to raise the kids at home, but I still wanted to work. I had like part-time jobs where I could bring in a little extra money, but I wanted to bring in more than just a little.
Okay. Okay, so you was in a one income home and you just wanted to you see you had twins? Did I heard you say that? Okay.
Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
then a third.
All right. I was working. Okay, one income home. Okay. And three kids. And just wanted to so would you say you were wanting to help your husband with some of the bills or make some extra money or what? Because if he was he the only one working at the time?
Yeah, yeah. But I had
You said you had some
part-time
odd jobs.
jobs. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like yeah, I mean I did direct sales,
Okay.
you know, retail,
Okay.
things like that.
Three kids. I wanted to earn. Okay. Some extra cash. Okay. So, and so how did you come? So is this how you came about the legacy program or what? So while you were, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so I actually lost my job 3 months after my divorce was final. So I decided to start studying to be a real estate agent. And I was like, I think I'm gonna need a little bit. I wanted to bring in some money, some consistent money while selling real estate because it wasn't guaranteed, you know,
Mm-hmm.
if I wasn't selling anything. Um, so on Instagram, I found somebody that was also studying real estate that was in this program. So that's how I found it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So in a nutshell, okay. So in a nutshell, you know, you was a stay-at-home mom of, I'm gonna say you was a stay-at-home mom of three. So I'm just gonna say that. So you was a stay-at-home mom of three. So you was a stay-at-home mom of three, working, working some odd jobs, working some part-time jobs, in a one income household. What kind of hours did your husband work? Did he work like just typical 9 to 5 hours or weekends or what was that
Um,
like?
yeah, so he worked mainly like 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. or later.
Okay.
And then probably like 6 days a week.
Okay. Now, would you say that you guys were like struggling a little bit? I'm not trying to put words in your
Oh
mouth.
yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know, and the reason why I say this stuff, guys, listen, these are pain points that you want to hammer to the moon is blue because everybody can relate to this. They can relate to you working on Saturdays. They can relate to you being behind on your bills. Guys, there's no shame in this stuff. I used to couldn't even have 4 groceries back here last year before I found this. We didn't have any groceries in the refrigerator. You think I'm afraid to say that on social media? Heck no, because that was the truth. Car about to get repoed, everything. Like everybody is dealing with this stuff. Do not. I don't want you guys to get on the camera and be like, "Well, I'm not going to sit there and tell them that I was struggling or my I couldn't afford groceries or my I wouldn't pay my bills." Shh. Don't say nothing that ain't true. That's all I'm telling you. Like whatever you say, just make sure it's the truth. But guys, dig deep. You know, anytime, like if you really want to find out your pain points, when somebody asks you something, you say, why? Why do you want to do that? Well, why do you want to make some extra money? Well, okay, so why do you want to do that for your kids? Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm reading this book. It's called the Success Millionaire Success Habits. It's called the Six Steps of. There's a partner called the Six Steps of something. It's where you ask them, they keep asking them why for 7 times, and it's right around that time when you get exactly to the root of the issue right there, because we only see surface stuff. The 2 people I've done already, Tasha and Bernie, I think her name is. If I would have spent about 20 more minutes just talking to them, they would have been talking about all other type. They could have probably came up with like 6 or 7 other pain points because we just don't think about it, guys. It's just we don't think that's a pain point, right? But it is, right? So there's always a reason why. When you say, "Well, I want to make some extra money," well, why do you want to make some extra money, right? Why? People just don't jump up and be like, "Well, you know what? I think I want to make some extra money." No, there's a reason behind that. I want to make some extra money because I'm behind on these bills. I want to make some extra money because I'm not making enough money at my job. I'm literally struggling. Guys, be you can be it's okay to be vulnerable in your pain points. I can promise you if you do, you get 100 leads a day. I'm telling you right now, you'll get them because they when you're talking about your pain points to your audience, this is what they're saying. To them, when they listen to you, it's like as if they're saying, "Man, that person, it's like that person is talking right to me. They can relate to me." Guys, I'm telling you, they want to feel they want to know that they're not the only people who are struggling. Because they really believe that they're the only person whose check is short. They're the only person who can't afford groceries. They're the only person who got to take one of these to the grocery store. When I spent half of 2023 with one of these in Walmart up the street, right? It's okay, guys. I'm telling you that right there. Them pain points will make you a lot of money in this business because people want their problems solved. It ain't, "Oh man, look at me. I made 10 grand this month. Oh, I made 6 figures." They don't care about none of that. I'm telling you. Here, my right hand to God. They don't care about none of that stuff because guess what? They're struggling. They out here can't even buy a jug of milk. And you tell me, "Oh, I made 20 grand this month." They may block you just cause. So yes, guys, just share those pain points. All right, let me get back to this. Man, I want you guys to get this because this stuff is gold. It's just the pain points. So so you say, okay, so in a nutshell, um, where's her name? Okay, so Amy. So again, in a nutshell, so you was a stay-at-home mom of 3, and your husband was the only one working. He was working crazy hours. You guys we were struggling a little bit. Things were tough. We kind of got behind on the bills. And if you didn't, you don't have to say that. Like, I'm just kind of throwing it out there because most time, if you're in a one-parent home, I mean, not a one-parent home, if you're in a one-income home, you're probably going to be struggling a little bit. It's 2025. Man, you may need 3 income streams in a home. We know one income is just not cutting it, right? Even in a little small state of Tennessee, right? So again, you was a stay-at-home mom of 3, and of course, my husband was the only person working, so we had one income, and he worked a lot of hours. We were struggling a little bit. Things were tight. And let me see. And I wanted to find a way to make some extra cash. You could say, Amy, like, I wanted to find a way to make some extra money to help my husband, to help supplement his income. I mean, there's so many ways that you could do this. I mean, I'm pretty sure in your heart that was something that you wanted to do, but probably you never even, it probably just didn't think, you probably didn't think about it because we just, just normal stuff. So we don't really put emphasis on that. This is how you break your story down, right? So again, stay-at-home mom of three, in a one income home. My husband worked crazy hours, all through a lot on Saturdays. We were struggling, things were tough. And, I just wanted to try to help my husband. I wanted to try to find something to get out of this cycle, right? And again, I was working, I did some side job. I had a couple side jobs, and I had a couple side jobs that I did, and of course, I ended up losing my job after a divorce, and that's when things got serious. You could say that's when things got serious. And while looking, it wasn't until back here in January, I think, no, in May, it wasn't back here until May of last year that I actually got introduced to this program. It wasn't back until May of last year that I got actually stumbled across digital marketing and I found this blueprint. And with this blueprint, I've been learning these high income skills. Guys, this stuff is so repetitive. It's like beating a dead horse. With these income skills, with this blueprint, I'm learning these high income skills where I've been able to use social media. Why do you want to say social media? Well, that's because everybody is on social media. And it's 2025 and people really don't even think that you can make money on social media. Right? I probably got like 60 messages right now just in TikTok alone. I can't even answer them all. And people are like, man, I'm asking about some of the information about how you can make money on social media. It's crazy. You would think everybody know that you can make money on social media, but they don't, guys. Like these jobs got folks like really just they got shackles on their eyes, right? So hey, guys, with this blueprint, I'm learning these high income skills where I've been able to use social media and I've been able to build me an online business and attract customers. And I don't even have to speak to none of them. And the reason why is because I have an automated bit. And the reason why is because I have an automated business, right? Excuse me, guys. A little office. One day I'm going to have me a big old office. I promise y'all. I can promise you, right? But again, you learn these high income skills, and you've been able to use social media to build you an online business, and you don't even have to speak to nobody. And the reason why is because you have a business that's completely automated. And I love to use that word. I love that it only required me 2 hours. Guys, I'm gonna tell you something. You get to the point where you start using hand gestures and smiling. I love that it only required me 2 hours a day to learn these skills. And I'm not tech savvy. So I didn't have to have no tech skills, no experience, or no huge social media following. And now, because of this 2 hour workday, I now have more time to spend with my kids. I can help my husband. We're not struggling as bad. And while doing that, guys, because I have an automated business, it's out there still working for me in the background while I'm doing the things that I want to do. So, guys, I don't know what your situation is, but if you'd like to learn more about the blueprint that I'm following, then just put the word blueprint and I'd be happy to send you guys over all the blueprint information. Guys, I'm telling you, man, like, you ever did something and you're just like, man, it can't be that simple. Guys, it's that simple. It's this simple. And I'm gonna tell you this, everybody who's making any type of income in this business, they're using this model. It's just that they're attacking it from their own angles because they already have their story already laid out. If you watch Michelle, she attacks his business more from the business side than she do the pain point side. But you'll still catch her saying back here in 2022. You know what I'm saying? She's always said back here in 2022. Man, I was such and such, right? I was lost or whatever. You hear Victoria, I'm a stay-at-home mom to 3 special needs kids. That's a pain point in itself. A stay-at-home mom and the kids are special needs, right? Husband is Army, spends about 90% of the time away from the home. So she has all the responsibilities. That's why she makes so much money because she can relate. Her audience is no doubt single moms or even married moms who are stay-at-home moms. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure she's had a lot of people who done joined her who have kids, who have special needs children, who's somebody in their is in the military in their family, whether it's them, their spouse, all relatable guys. When people feel like they can relate to you, they feel like they know you. They feel like they've been knowing you for 30 years and they never met you before in their life. And when they get to grow to like you, know you, and trust you, you could blow a bubble in the air and put it and catch it like this in a bag, and they'll buy it if you sold it because they believe everything that you say. I'm telling you, that's how I'm serious. But it all starts with the story. It all starts with the story because that's where the relatability is. You gotta talk about it, guys. Talk about what made you. That's why I did this. This is stuff that I teach in my training, and I say in my one-on-one coaching. You can ask anybody on here who's done coaching with me, right? But I wanted to do this because I really want you guys to get it together. Like I want this year to be the year that everybody can make at least $10,000 a month, because every last one of you have a story that can do it, guys. I know it, right? And so you want to focus on those pain points. That's where the relatability is at, guys. That's where the connection is at. If you want to know how to get people asking you for details and info, start talking about your struggles. Don't talk about no money. Don't even worry about that until you get to the point where you got plenty of leads. Then you be like, hey, how would you like to learn how to make 900 a day? I do that every once in a while, but I get a lot of leads every day. Just focus on the pain. And what is your pain? What made you decide to say, you know what? I got to go look for something. What was going on? What were you doing? You was a nurse. You was a factory worker. You was in real estate. You was a production assembly worker, right? Man, what did you not like about that job? Man, oh man, I worked so many hours. I was exhausted. The job had me stressed out, right? I never saw my family. Like whatever it was, those are all pain points that drove you to looking. That drove you to look and oh shoot. And then you found this blueprint. You saw a video of somebody talking about the program. But the reason why you joined is because you was experiencing the things, or the reason why you went looking is because of the things you was experiencing. Those are pain points, guys. So prime example, what my pain points. Okay, so I worked a job welding. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, guys. That's a pain point. I'm willing to bet you over 50% of the country is working them kind of hours, right? I was stressed out. I never saw my kids. I worked every weekend, 6, 7 days a week. I was behind on all my bills, and I was losing relationship with my children. My story's got 40 pain points in them. I just can't tell them all, right? And then on top of that, I got fired. How many people? 16 million people lost their jobs last year. It's supposed to be close to 85 million this year in 2025 who lose their jobs and get laid off, almost tripling it. They firing people like white on rice, right? Because they everything is automated now. It's automation, it's robotic, AI, like they have no need. I tell people this, if you're in manufacturing, production, assembly, any of that stuff where you have to drill, put some parts in the box, you're probably going to lose your job sometime this year. You're probably going to lose your job sometime. It's only a matter of time because they just don't have same thing in retail the same way. Amazon been putting stores out of business for the last 10 years because it's the largest online retail store in the world, right? Pretty soon you hear about Belk going out of business. You hear about all these retail stores. Sears, they already going out. All these stores, they're going away, right? And that's why they're cutting these manufacturing companies. That job I used to work as a welder, the sister plant, they've been there like 60 years, guys. They just back here last month, they just laid off. That plant is going away. 400 people losing their jobs. It's only a matter of time before the one that fired me. I was going to say, I hope they shut it down, but I'm not going to say that because I know people that still work there. So I'm going to be good. But I'm just saying, like, they just don't have any reason for you. But guys, that's the key. The key is your pain. Don't be shy, man. Like, this business can change your life, man. If you would have told me, I did a live today. I'm going to show y'all something. I did a live today using this board. I know y'all probably can't see that or whatever, but I was letting people know where I was on January the 6th of this year. I was a month behind on this card. I was a month behind on. See, this is why when you go live, you can share your story more. I was a month behind on January 6th. I was a month behind on this rent, $6 in the bank. My wife's car was about to get repoed, and we didn't have much groceries. 7 days later, I was doing life insurance, booking house calls from 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., driving all over the Upper Cumberland of Tennessee, helping people with life insurance. A week later, I seen a Facebook post where a lady says how she said, you want to know how I made $600 working 2 hours, right? This was a part of the IPS program because they had a 50, 150, 300, and 600. They had just jumped up to the 600. I had just got a $444 life insurance check. I saw that, I got that information. I took 75, once I watched it, I took $75 of that check, of that $444 life insurance check, which again, I was still, it wasn't enough to pay the rent, grocery. I was effed up, so it didn't matter, right? My back was against the wall. And I joined that program on January the 15th. I joined that program on January 15th. I ended the year debt free. I paid off close to almost $46,000 in debt, all my student loans, $303,000, and I obtained true time freedom, guys. That I'm telling you, I could write a book about this. I cannot make this stuff up. And I didn't have no tech skills, no experience, no following, just sharing my story. And that's why I want you to understand the power of your story, right? Because I had a lot of people who joined me in this business who were welders, a lot of people who done got fired, a lot of people who work dead end jobs, a lot of people who work the weekends, who don't see their families. All the things that I was experiencing that made me say, you know what, I don't want to work no job no more. I'm done. I want to be able to spend more time with my family. And then I went and I tried a variety of things. I did affiliate marketing, network marketing, life insurance, and then I discovered digital marketing. So I just want you to know, man, like your story is everything, guys. So be vulnerable. Don't be shy. Don't be like, well, I don't want social media knowing that I'm struggling. Shit, pardon my French. Man, I had $6 in the bank. I ain't had no food in the house. Guys, you think I'm afraid to tell me that? I made $16,000 last month, right? Come on, man. Like, and it was a bad month. So no, yeah, I want you to understand your story is the key to your success, guys. That's where it's at. You know, you don't have to be vulnerable. Just focus on those little things and beat it. Get in the mirror, talk to it, say it to the point where you just, hell, you get tired, but you feel like you're gonna just bomb it. And then like when you start talking, it'll just start, and then you'll start talking. Once you start sharing that story and doing your content, it'd be like as if you're talking to your little brother or your cousin. That's the tonality that you want to have, because then when you have that, guys, you come across as being relatable, likable, trustworthy, all those things. But when you're creating content and your eyes is bucked like this and your chest is tight and it just seems like you doggone a paraplegic and everything, like they can see it, they can see it through the video, guys. Just relax, right? Hey, just be yourself, be normal, and just share that story, guys. So, but Amy, I'm gonna type this up for you, and I promise you, once I type it up, you'll be able to kind of just format it how you want to, and then I'm gonna put it in Chat GPT and send you Chat GPT's version too. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it because Chat GPT is the best, guys. I hope you guys wrote those steps down. That's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to follow that. I'm telling you, if you do that and stay consistent, man, you're gonna have some success, right? You don't have to be in a hurry. We're not in competition with anybody. That's why I decided to do this, because I wanted, and it's gonna be replayed, but I just want people to get this, man, because it's just crazy how there's people are just hurting, man. They're struggling, they're hurting. And when you get to talking about your story, they're gonna be like, dang, man, Margie, she gonna be talking about her story. They're gonna be like, man, I can relate. I know exactly what you're talking about. And then you come to about this blueprint and you done started an online business and you ain't gotta have no tech skill. Like, hey, can I get some of that information, Margie? Can I get some of that information? Hey, Liz, can I get some of that blueprint? Can you send me some of that? That's all you want. Because we want to let the automations take care of the rest, right? God, that's it. That's it, right? So, man, hopefully you guys got some value from this, man. I know I didn't get in the comments and ask any questions or whatever, but
I
guys,
got one.
okay, cool,
I
cool.
got a question.
Okay, I'm gonna
Just
ask.
can you repeat the 7 steps, please?
Okay,
That's
hold on.
it.
Okay, yeah, it's a 7 steps. So the number one is the hook. This is the most important thing, guys. The hook is the most important. And then you want to introduce yourself. Now, you don't have to do this in all your videos, but every once in a while, I'm like, hey, just let them know, hey guys, if you're new here, because you gotta understand, anytime you create content every day, new people see your videos. So that's why you gotta constantly just imagine like as if somebody never saw you before, because new people see your videos every day. So then after that, you introduce yourself, just hey guys, if you're new here, I'm such and such, right? Then you share your story. It starts with the story, it's everything. Because you know what storytelling is, guys? If you look at anybody successful, they all have they all have a story. It all starts with the story, right? When you put storytelling with marketing, storytelling with marketing, that is your message to your audience without sounding salesy. Because if you're not sharing your story in your marketing, which is using your platforms on social media, you might as well just grab your phone and be like, "Hey guys, if you just give me $900, man, this program can make you a lot of money. Like, man, we got so many people here making 300, 600, $900. All it takes is one time, $900. Like, come on, man. They're gonna block you. You may get cussed out and everything else because nobody likes to be sold. Ever been in the mall? Ever been in the mall and went in the store? When you first go in the store, what you can see them coming like vultures. They coming at you. And what do we say? They say, "Can I help you?" What do we say, guys? I'm just looking. I'm good. I'm just looking. Because we already know they're gonna try to tell us we can get 3 for 1 over there, 50% off. We don't want to be sold. That's how it is in your content, guys. Right? That's so you make storytelling because people will listen to a story because they feel if they can relate to that. Really, if it's something that they can relate to, right? So that's where it starts at, right? And use Chat GPT, man. It's a cheat code, guys. I'm talking about just wing it. I can promise you, if I got the free version, I've been using it for a month. I got the free version. I just be just saying anything. Just you can stutter. You can. It don't matter. Chat GPT will put it together for you. I'm telling you, you'd be like, what? Sometimes I've been creating content lately. When I go back and listen to it, I just be like, golly, man. Now that's pretty good. That's what I tell you. Now that's pretty good, man. I'm not tooting my own horn, but that's pretty good. They smarter than me. And we get it for free, man. That's the beauty of it, guys. Right? So, okay, so oh yeah, okay, so the third one is share your story and focus on the pain points. The fourth one is share when you found the blueprint. Let them know, guys. Hey, guys, it was back here. You hear Michelle say it all the time, guys. Back here in 2022. Back here in 2022. Because it does something to their mind when you let them know about a time frame, right? And then share what the blueprint is teaching you. Man, this thing is teaching me how to build, how to develop. I've developed these high income skills. I'm learning. If you're new, hey, I'm learning these high income skills following this blueprint. And I've been able to take this blueprint and use social media, guys, and build me an online business or start me an online business, whatever you want to use, right? And then you share what you like about the blueprint. The 2-hour workday. I love that it only requires me 2 hours a day to learn this skill. 2 hours a day. Not tech savvy, no tech skills required, no experience, and no huge social media following needed. And then share the destination. Now you're coming on in for the landing, guys. And now because of this blueprint, I now have more time to do the things that I want to do. I no longer have to worry about, being behind on my bills. I no longer have to be up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning trying to stress and figure out which one of these am I going to choose between groceries or this electric bill, right? And on top of that, guys, because my business is automated, it's still out there working for me, right? So you're painting a picture because it's a picture that's true of not only you doing the things that you want to do on your time, but guess what? You're still making money, whether you are or not. Your business is out there working, guys. And then of course, okay, and then as a bonus, again, guys, you can talk about being a part of the community. You get live coaching and interactive mentoring by a self-made millionaire and some six-figure income earners. And then the key one is this, the CTA. Guys, that's it, my friends. That is it. That is it. That is it. I'm telling you, man. Like that is it. This is it. This is why I've been in our founding members, like probably for like the last 3 or 4 weeks straight. We just been focused on storytelling because I want everybody to get it down. Because I know after that, you ain't got to worry about nothing else because everything else will take care of itself, right? So I just want to let you guys know that also the story I mean the founding members is still that introductory price is going on to for 8 more days, which is the 28th. That's $47 a month, and then we're all going over into the inner circle, which is basically the still gonna be the founding members. It's just that without the introductory price, which I think I haven't decided if I'll make the introductory price 67 or 97. And the reason why, guys, I'm telling you, man, I got some stuff that y'all gonna be learning that ain't nobody else is doing. I'm telling you, some stuff that can make you $3,000-4,000 in a day, right? I mean, like, and it's all about strategies. And this is a lot of stuff that I learned, man. Like back in the year when I first came online, I was just winging it. I just learned a lot of stuff, and then just over time, just some quick hitters, man, on how to certain emails, structuring your emails, branding yourself in your emails, clickbaiting your emails, offering incentives in your emails, man. It's gold, right? Michelle doesn't teach that stuff, right? Michelle knows she's great at what she does, but you gotta say Michelle's still new to the online space. She's only been in online for 2.5 years, right? So she's great at what she's doing. All she gotta do is look at the income she's generated and the people that she's helped generate, teach how to generate the income. That lets you know that the business is duplicatable, right? So we've learned a lot. She's taught me a lot, right? And I've used what she's taught me, and then I've used what I've learned outside of before I even found this program, and now I just mix them together, and I know they work, right? And so I'm gonna be sharing all. We're gonna get to all that, man, because again, my goal is to have at least everybody in my community anyway. My goal is to get everybody to make about 10,000 every month. That's the whole goal. But you gotta crawl before you walk. A baby don't, y'all know this. A baby don't come out the womb crawling or walking, I mean, right? There's a process to that. And so the story is everything, guys. It is everything. That's where it's the creme de la creme. Because I can get on there and be like, yeah, guys, last month I made 16,000. So far this month I made a little bit over 11,000. I'm telling you, man, guys, y'all can do it. Just, they don't care about none of that because somebody back here didn't even get no tax return, right? Somebody back here is behind on 3 weeks behind on the rent. So I'm not going to talk about that. No, no, no. I'm just going to share, hey, guys, before I found this program, man, I was a struggling welder. Man, I was working crazy hours, broke, behind on all my bills, lights got cut off multiple times. Like there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Like I got 40 pain points, but you just want to focus on like 3 good ones and just say them in all your content on every last one of your videos. Because guess what? Eventually somebody going to be like, you're going to catch somebody one day and they're going to be like, man, I need to find out who that's. I need to find out what. I need to find out what Ashley talking about, man. I need to find out what Carrie talking about. Because guys, they're gonna get tired. They're gonna get tired. People may feel like, oh, it's tax time. I got a little leverage. What you gonna do around about April? Taxes long gone now. You got April, May, June, July. I mean, come on now. No, I don't want to. No, no. And as long as you're constantly showing up talking about, man, I was stressed. My job had me this. I was broken. I was behind on my bills. And then this program, I found this blueprint. Man, I'm telling you, they're going to run to you, guys. They're going to run to you because guess what? They're going to be dealing with the same stuff. You know what I tell people in my lives? I said, I know it's tax season, but picture this. What does your bank account look like at the end of every month? After your bills are paid. When you look in it, after all your bills are paid at the end of every month, not counting taxes, what does it look like? Are you happy with that? Does that make you smile? That's what I tell them. See, when you talk to people like that, it makes them think because everybody know what their account looks like. Hell no, mine was, boy, I couldn't even get a 2-for-1 at Hardee's, right? Back here on January the 6th. So again, it's just a story, guys. That's why I focus on this, and because I know this is where it all starts. So, man, I really want to ask some questions. I want to answer some. I know it's like 7:51. This is going to be recorded, so if you guys happen to get off, I just wanted to ask some questions. Ashley said my Facebook is full of people waiting for the tax refund. I haven't started my tax yet. I don't need it. Yeah, I think a lot of people are waiting for them, right? I think, listen, you know how crazy this is? So I've had like, I don't know if people think their taxes finna hit, because I know just today alone, I had 9 people try to join at the 900 level just today alone, and they all got canceled, like as if it said insufficient funds. So maybe they're expecting to get their taxes and they ain't hit yet. I don't know, right? But that's just crazy. But but that's fine. I'm hoping they hit. I'm hoping they hit for everybody, right? Because when them taxes hit, look here, taxes was really hitting in March of last year for me because I made $38,000 in March of last year. Come on, March. Come on for everybody, right? Taxes on. Like, I mean, let's just be, I'm for real, guys, right? So I understand. And this is why, like I say, guys, they're waiting on their taxes too. Because everybody don't have the money, whatever. So they're waiting. That's why you just want to just keep on showing up. Don't wait, just keep on showing up every day. And next thing you know, you'll start getting them ding, 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 ding. You'll know them taxes done hit then, right? So let's keep on doing that. I'm gonna raise up a Trisha. Guys, raise your hand if you have a question because I can't.
Hello?
Yes.
Darrell, thank you so much. This is like a gold mine right here. And listen, I'm gonna pay for my coaching from you because yeah, tonight before I go to sleep, I gotta do it. Yeah. But my question is, thank you by the way. I
Yeah.
like it is spinning so much. I'm like the story. So are you done doing the story analysis right now? Or are you gonna do some more? That's it. We just have to ask you
Yeah,
a
I
question.
was just gonna do 3 today. I'll do some more later at another date. I just wanted to do 3 today and just kind of break it down. I didn't even
All right.
plan on giving you guys. I didn't even plan on going over that, but I was like, I did this at the last minute. I said, you know what? Let me just go in and give them this. This is how
Okay.
serious I am about y'all learning this, man. Let me go in and give them this. And again, everybody's does it different. This is how I do it, right? And then once you learn it, you can change it up and do whatever you want. But the most important thing is the story, guys. It don't matter how you structure it, the story. And then I call this a journey that I lead them on,
So
right?
you saw me on live. I'm enjoying my life. That's where I go in and
Yes.
I story and I tell your story every day. So I'm good with that. But my views are low. So I'm not gonna ask you because you just taught us that. Just chat GPT and I wrote everything down. I watched the replay and I'm gonna hire you. That's all I gotta say. I'm not keeping up time. Yes, that's it.
All right, sounds
Yeah,
good.
pretty much.
All right. Uh Breezy.
Okay, I'm here. I'm here. How are you today, sir?
Doing
I
good, bro.
attempted earlier today to find the payment link for the 47, but I searched everywhere. I couldn't find it.
I gotta send it to you because I don't know why I can't see it on my phone, but once I go on my laptop, it's just right there. Like it's crazy.
Okay.
So I'll just send me a message and send me a message and I'll send it to you because I've had to send it to like 2 people today.
Okay. And then the second one was I've watched in your modules, I've watched about maybe 10, 12, 13 of the videos. And then but every time I go back to look, it still stays on 0. And then when I went back today, it's still on 0. So
You
it,
have to okay, so after you get done watching, there's a little arrow that you got to click on at the top of the video, if I'm not mistaken, and it'll turn green, and then it'll let you know, it'll say that it's 100%, and then you can move on to the other one. That's why, and it'll because if you watch the video and you don't click on that little arrow, I think is like it won't say nothing. It'll just still say at 0.
okay. All right. Thank
It
you.
just basically letting you know that you don't. It lets you know that you don't watch the video.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I got some. I got a whole bunch of modules left, man. I'm just slowly but slowly putting them together. Okay, Susan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Can you hear me? Okay,
Uh-huh.
so first of all, I want to say you make me laugh, okay, because all day long while I'm at my day job over here, I can hear you saying all these things that you say to us, and I just crack up. So thank you for that. But I just have a quick question because you just make me laugh. I don't know, you said something about a one-armed man like last time, and I just can't, I don't care if you're a one-armed man, and I just like I wish I was a one-armed man, it might be easier. But here's the thing, I have a question. On the part where you said, I think it was 6, or maybe it was 7. You
Seven
know,
and what problem?
where the part where you were before and where you are now. So, like before I'm gonna use someone else's story because mine don't fit in there, but before I was a nurse and now I'm this. Okay, so before I started this program, I was here and now I'm here. What if we're still there? We're not here yet. How do we go around that? So, you know what I'm saying? So like I haven't, you say, cool, let's go. Because I haven't progressed to there yet. So
Well, you're not. What? Okay, so it'd be like this. So, prime example, say, so when you're sharing your story, Susan, and hey, said your hook, your intro, you're sharing your
mhm.
story, and then you're letting people know when you found the program. Now, number 5, where it says now share what the program is teaching you, right? So instead of saying, hey, with this program, I'm learning these skills. So when you say you're learning, it lets your audience know that, okay, first of all, you're still learning. It's not going to let them know that you're new, but instead of saying, hey guys, I've developed these skills or I've learned. So in my content, I'll say, hey guys, I've learned these high income skills. I've developed these skills. So that means that it tells them that I know what I'm doing. Not saying that you don't, but it puts me more in like okay, he got it down packed, right? Even though I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah.
learning. So
Mhm.
if you're not there, you don't have to fake it till you make it. Just be like, hey guys, so and with this blueprint, I'm learning these high income skills, and I've
Okay.
started me an online business where where I'm able to use social media to attract. You're painting a picture. You're not telling
Mhm.
them you're making money or nothing. You don't have to say any of that. You're painting a picture. So guys, I'm learning these high income skills, and I've been able to take social media and start me an online business where I'm able, keywords, where I'm able to attract daily paying customers, and I don't even have to get on the phone with anybody because I have a business that's automated, right? And then
Okay.
of course you let them know what you like about it. Hey, I love the fact that it's only requiring me 2 hours a day to learn this.
Mhm.
I didn't have to have no tech skills, no experience, and no following, right? And now because of this, guys, I'm learning to get my time back. I'm learning because of the skills. I'm learning to be able to position myself to be able to spend more time with my family, not stress as much, not be behind us on all my bills. And while doing these things, my business, because it's automated, is still out there working for me. So it's all about just the keywords that you're using, Susan.
Okay.
Like you don't have to be like me, how I say, hey guys, now because of this, right? Some people would be like, well, just I like to say paint the destination. I mean,
Okay.
I like to say
Paint the destiny.
paint the desired destination, whether you
Yeah.
are or not. That's just my opinion, right?
And I use
Because
chosen words. Like I'll use words like, this is reassuring me that when I do transition out of my now day job, I know that I've already mastered the 2-hour workday and I'll have all that time left to. So is that like painting a picture
well,
of
yeah, but
someone
you just want, yeah, it is. I just like
who's
to use the words. Uh, you kind of want to stay in the present. Like so, prime example, guys. I'm learning instead of saying, guys, I've learned these skills. When you say you've learned, that means you're letting your audience know that you have mastered it, right? Or you got it together. But if you don't, hey guys, I'm learning these high income skills. Now you've been able to use your business, social media, blah blah blah. Hey, I love the 2-hour workday, and now because of this, guys, I'm learning. Okay. So what I like to do again, like I think I said this the other day on a training. I like to go ahead and paint the picture, whether you're there or not. Guys, you want to? I mean, that's just me. I want to
show
paint the
us if you would.
destination.
Let's say you weren't there. Can we use you for an example? Let's say you weren't let's say you were in the same place you were when you started,
Uh-huh.
okay? And still didn't have all this income. So if you were going to paint that picture, how would you step into that? What would you say different
I'm I'm
than
a,
you?
I'm gonna paint it
Yeah.
like as if I'm experiencing it
Okay. So
because
like
I'm
what?
not I'm not using no income claims, Susan. I'm not saying now because of this program, I've made $900 every day, right?
No,
No.
but you do say things like, well, because you were fired, you weren't working when you started this. So it's a little different for someone who is working, right? So if you, let's say you were working, and you started this program, okay, how would you maneuver that around if you were still working?
Well, I
And
was working when I first started. I was doing life insurance. I was still when
oh,
I
that's right,
started
that's right.
this, I was still doing life insurance from 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m.
So
Right?
when you started that, what was your story then? Like what
Well, that's what I'm
you
saying.
see?
This is my story. Like, so again, like when I tell people, depending on how I'm formatting this, I'm like, hey guys, so back here in January of 2024, I
Mhm.
discovered this blueprint, right? Or I may say back in January 2020, if you've been on any of my lives, right? I'm like, hey guys, back in January 2024, I was doing life insurance. I was booking house calls, right? And then of course I stumbled across this program from a Facebook post. 2 days later, I joined the program, right? I don't go up into the specific details of saying, hey, well, guys, while I was still working, you don't even have to worry about that
No,
stuff.
no, but I'm saying when you were still working, when you started this, what did you say? Did you say I'm working?
No, because I didn't have my story down. I was still listen when I was doing this, I always just told people I was a welder. I was like, hey, I was a welder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just like, no, hey, I was a welder. I'll paint a picture like when I was, because that's where I was before I found this, right?
Okay.
I was a
I got
welder.
it.
And then I said, once I got fired, I had to end up going to stay in a homeless shelter. And then I came online and I tell
Mhm.
people I tried a variety of things, but they didn't work. I said, and sometimes I'll say, I tried a variety of things. I tried affiliate marketing, network marketing, direct sales. And then I did life insurance. And then it wasn't
Okay.
until January that I stumbled across this program, right? So we don't
Yeah.
have to, you don't have to go into like in the grand scheme of things, Susan. You don't have to do
Well,
that.
because
You don't,
well,
you
and
don't have
that's where
to,
I kind of get stuck because I'm still in that. So
there's a lot
I
of
paint
people
the
who are,
picture in a positive way when I end it. I paint it in a, like Michelle says, give them the destination.
that's it.
So
Yeah.
I try to use my words to do that. In that, I use the word hope, and I'm able to transition out of a job and know that I have this predictable income coming into my account because of this automations and because of this blueprint. So is that enough? I mean,
Yes,
are they
that's
looking
enough.
for a before and after? Because
No, that's enough because that's your story though. That's what I'm saying. So like, no, no. See, that's your story. That's why you can say that. And guess what? People understand. They'll be able to relate to you because guess what? You're not at a position where you're doing this full time, so that you can say all that stuff. They relate to you being someone who's working a job, and you're doing this because you're using your job to kind of fund this until this can overtake your job, and then you can do this full time. So no, that's perfect what you're doing.
here's how I spin it. I'm like, why would you quit a perfectly good job just because it's not paying you enough paycheck to paycheck? But when you add this business to it, why don't you transition out on your own terms? So don't wait for them to let you go. Okay. And then I've been let go when I,
Yeah.
chose to stay with my brother. But I'm like, I always say this, I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm just saying get a plan, get this additional plan, this extra income, so that you can make the choice of your own to transition out and live with freedom when you're working just 2 hours a day with your automated system or whatever it is. So
Yes.
that's what I was trying to get to, the before and the after, because I'm like, well,
Yeah.
and here's the thing, Darrell, I'm so detailed because my day job that I've been doing for 32 years is very detailed. So for me not to put in all the details has been a real challenge. So I've gotten better because I listened to you and I'm like, okay, I can leave that part out. So,
Yeah,
you know,
well, yes, what I'm saying, like you're not going to be able to put all that stuff in there, and because really on TikTok, but what you're doing is perfectly fine because see,
mhm,
you're also painting a picture when they see that you have a job, and then you started this business, so obviously there's something that's going on, what for you to have a job, and now you're trying to learn a high income skill so that you can get out of your job so that you ain't got to trade your time for money and you can work from home and be able
yeah.
to earn an income without even punching the clock, without waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work or whatever,
Well, I
right?
I use this job because, I start out with, I lost my job and I got in credit card debt. And of course, yes, I had to go get another job because I didn't have a choice because that's all I knew was to go get another job. And because that's what we know, go get another job. So I just throw that in on some of them so that they can say, well, if
I
she's
will be saying that in
working,
all of my content. That I think I think yours was right. Was the one where you were using your credit cards or something like that, or you were living off credit cards or
I
something?
lived off my credit cards.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will be. Yeah, over I think 25 million people live off credit cards. Yes,
they do. They
relatable.
do. But the thing about it is I think so many people have gotten used to living off credit cards. They're seeing that as the norm now. So it's not
Yeah,
shocking. I
yeah,
don't
but we
think they're
don't.
shocked about it anymore,
Well, yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
well, they're probably not shocked because they're not shocked because they don't know that there's a program out there called the Legacy Builders Program that can help them that can get them out of that situation where they don't have to live off credit cards.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
why when you say you're sharing your story about how you were doing it, and now you discovered this program and you're learning these skills. You're just painting a picture, Susan. You're learning these
Yeah.
skills. You ain't saying, "Hey, I've made this." It don't, I post that in my content. I mean, in my I post um, results sometime in my content. Then sometime
Yeah.
I use the community. I'll screenshot somebody else's and put emphasis on the community as far as like, hey guys,
Mhm.
this so many people inside of our digital growth community are just having so much success. I did that in one of my emails today for I forgot her name, some lady that made like $600, and I sent that out in a newsletter with
Yeah.
the webinar, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep. I do that.
yeah, you don't. So yeah, you're just painting a picture, guys. It's all the visual is everything. The
Well, and I just
visual,
want to add too that when you say on lives, you can go a little longer. You can go a little
yes,
more detail. That so I've been saving some of that emotion and that little bit of detail for that. But I just want to say in this past week, I have had a win. I have had 8 new followers
good.
inside my email. So I've been getting like one here, two there, and to have 8 in 1 week, I thought, so I must have done something. I think it was the live because I only have 45 minutes. I only have like 50 minutes on my lunch hour. Come out here and do it at 2 o'clock. Okay. And so when I get out here and I have to get myself calm because I've been working. So I come out and I just give a little emotion in there and just chit chat a little bit.
Yes,
And
just be yourself. That's
and I'm
perfect.
telling you, it does work. Like it does work because here's what I've come to. I am who I am. My story is who I am, and is I'm just trying to fit it into this equation of, the tips and tricks that you give us in the equation. I'm just trying to fit it in there. I'm not trying to be anybody else.
That's
But sometimes you have to skip some of them steps and
you
just
do have
say what
to.
you have to say.
That's 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 absolutely
Yeah.
correct. Like you don't have to like I can't spend 30 minutes on TikTok trying to tell everybody my whole story. So I just hit key things, right? And I
Yeah.
just let
Yeah.
them know about this program. I'm not like I'm just painting a picture. Again, that's why I love this because you're just leading them on a journey. It doesn't matter if you're still working and you have a lot of people inside the community have this program and they're still working a job. It's
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just be genuine, be open. They
Yeah.
understand. Like it doesn't you can't build a business overnight. So they understand that.
Well,
I love
when
this.
I saw you were doing this doing the video when about the snow when you had all the snow,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm in Florida. I was like, oh, what I'd give for just one day of like 8 or 9 inches of
Yeah,
snow. What
you
a
can have
story
it.
that would be.
You can have
Oh, I'm like,
this is
Lord,
good.
please let it snow.
Yeah, that's why it was easy for me to create because I remember when I used to weld, we would get like 8 to 10 inches of snow and we'd be off work for 2 days.
Yeah.
And guess
And no
what?
pay. And
That's
no
no
pay.
pay,
Yeah.
right? I love this hook right here. Jennifer said,
That's
this is a great hook. What would you do if you lost your job tomorrow?
yeah.
Man, that's a good hook.
I use that hook a
What would
lot.
you
Yeah.
do if you lost your job tomorrow? And then like that'd be a hook you could say when you're creating content, when you're in your video, be like this, point at them like this. What would you do if you lost
Yeah.
your job tomorrow?
Yeah.
Man, they may start getting a tight in the chest, right?
Yeah.
Just I mean,
Yeah.
hooks are everything, guys, right?
Or what would you do if your job let you go tomorrow? Yeah.
Absolutely, any of that.
Yeah.
Let me see. I just wanted to go
Thank
through and
you.
look at, yeah, no problem. I want to go through and look at some more questions. As I'm working doing this and never plan to give my job. I have a friend that's with me. Okay, I think yes, I have a friend that does it with me. She has cerebral palsy that affects her motor skills and nonverbal, and she's doing this all from the function of her wheelchair that controls her computer. Anyone can do this. Man, that's powerful. Let me see. Hit the circle with the check and it's okay. That's right. Yeah, hit the circle with the check. Virginia said, "Should I wait for your email still? Have I not sent you that, Virginia? Or should I raise my hand for you to do my?" I think I have. Man, have I not sent that? Hey, send me up. I apologize, Virginia. I I thought I sent you that. I guess not.
Not yet, not yet. It's okay, it's okay.
Oh my God, man. I'm telling you, it's been crazy. Yeah, just send me a message in the community and I gotta go through here and figure out where I wrote that in. If we have to jump back on, that's fine. I know I got it wrote down here somewhere with your name on it. I just gotta find it in my little office or whatever. But I don't know why I thought I sent that to you, but I guess I'd have been sidetracked doing all types of other stuff and just totally forgot. I apologize. I'm gonna get it for you though. Um, Let me see. Thanks again. Darrell, you have off now. Looking forward to create my videos. Okay, awesome. Okay. All right. Okay. Storytelling point frame. I like how Ashley did this. Storytelling 7-point frame for content creation. The hook, get them to stop the scroll, the intro, who I am, keep it short, share story, focus on the pain points, share when you share with what's that? Share when you I gotta scroll down. I love this. Yeah, share when you join. Share what the blueprint is teaching you and has taught you. Share what you like about the blueprint and share what problem is solved, which is the destination and the CTA. That is absolutely correct.
I put it in a Google Doc if you want me to put the link in here.
Yeah, well, I have it right here, but yeah, if you want to put it in there for this.
I typed it up in a Google Doc, so I can throw it in this chat.
Okay, great. Yeah, put it in there and maybe they can use that. Guys, she's going to put that in there. Now I just need to start doing my videos, Jennifer said. So guys, again, hold up. Do you have a question, Trisha?
I just want to say, book, see you in the morning.
All right. All right.
Okay, thank you, Dara.
All right. Okay, guys. So that is it, man, for today. What else I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say something else. I got some more. I'm gonna be working on some modules in the back, guys. I got some more. I got a lot of stuff. I'm not just trying to overwhelm you guys with it. So that's why I'm like, some of it may be locked and some because it requires like a certain amount of engagement or whatever. Because I don't want you guys reading all the videos and you're just like, oh my God, like my head is hurting, man. So, just give it a little bit at a time. But if you haven't been back there in that training, man, check it out. Watch get back there, look at some of that stuff. I got some other stuff I'm going to be posting. I just got a lot of stuff coming, man. So again, I just appreciate each and every last one of y'all for allowing me to help you guys. I have a heart for helping people, and you'll get to a point. I'm hoping that you guys will get there because you will. Because when we first got in this business, we just want to make money. That everybody does. I know I did, right? Because that's what we want to do. But guys, I'm telling you, there's coming a time where like you're going to make enough money. And so you're not even going to worry about it because your income will become predictable. You'll get an idea of how much income you'll make every month. And so then you can just now you just want to take people on the ride with you. Like you really want to be like, okay, so now that I know how to do this, now you can teach other people how to do that, right? Because the more people you help, the more money you're going to make, right? With value, right? And it's all going to start with that story of yours, man. Everybody. 33 people on here. There's 33 people that can make 6 figures, man. Whether it's this year, in 3 months, 5 months, it don't matter. Just continue to focus on that story. Focus on those pain points. Stay consistent. Ask questions. Watch other people. Invest in yourself. Whatever, man. Like whatever it takes. But guys, this is going to be recorded. I'm going to stop this right now, as a matter of fact.